Hey guys, if the only reason that you're here is for the fish, then I know this is probably not the update you want, but we've had a bit of a delay in moving the betta rack to its wall here. We're supposed to be doing that this week, but then Joey had to go and drive to New York on Saturday, which was yesterday. He spent the entire day driving to New York, Long Island, New York. Anyways, we just ran out of time in getting this moved, and I simply don't feel comfortable in moving it myself. I'm pretty sure it's a two-person job anyway, carrying the rack down. Obviously, that would be just a terrible mess if I tried to do that myself. However, the good news is that it should be moved at the beginning or sometime next week for sure, down here. Also, while he's been in New York, Joey's been sending me a few little video clips of things that they have in stock that I might want to add to some of these 15s, or maybe the 4 bigger tanks that I have going on that wall. So stay tuned to see what I end up getting from that. A little mall date. What do you rate it? Your buffalo chicken poutine.
I think this is just like popcorn chicken.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
I guess I didn't try the gravy's good poutine. Gravy.
Good gravy?
Yeah. Fries are good. It's a good poutine. Yeah.
It's good poutine?
I got a Philly cheesesteak. Just a small one.
Looks good.
The sloppier it is, the better it is.
True. I just got a regular poutine and a root beer. You got an orange crush. This is a special package. It is my wedding shoes. Tonight for supper I am doing chicken breasts with ham and mashed potatoes. Potatoes are just boiling now, and we fogged up the camera with gravy. Sort of like a little dinner type thing, but it's just for a regular supper. Just felt like it. Ham was on sale, chicken was on sale. I thought might as well make them both. So something I like to do so I don't make myself too full and it helps me not be snacking is whenever I finish my meal and I'm like satisfied, I'll put away the rest of whatever I had, and then when I get hungry later or I'm looking for a snack, that's my snack. Then with the leftovers from supper, which is just this hunk of ham, I'm gonna slice it up, and there's an extra piece of chicken, so an extra chicken breast here, and a little splash of gravy, so that can go towards lunch for tomorrow for us. And then another snack that I like to have when I'm being in a healthier mood is I'll put some frozen fruit in a little container like this with a lid, and I'll keep it in the fridge overnight to defrost it, and then I will have it the next day on top of some Greek yogurt. So it's a good high protein, low calorie little snack for when I feel like having something healthier. And it's still sweet because the fruit gives it some sweetness. And I like to use frozen fruit rather than fresh fruit because I don't have to worry about it going bad. And I also find that the like juice from it defrosting is good for mixing in with the yogurt. So if you've been following for a little while yet, you'll know that I've recently become sort of a Starbucks girly. And when I can't make it to the actual locations to get those drinks, I use this at-home Starbucks iced coffee, blonde roast. But at the store the other day, I found this coffee enhancer, and it is inspired by the white chocolate mocha. So I got it to try because this is one of the drinks on the menu that I've been wanting to try there and I just haven't gotten around to yet. And I tried this morning in my hot coffee, and it's delicious. I don't even have to add sugar because this is so sweet. So I'm gonna make an iced coffee now with it. It's so good. Cheers. I think I need to add a little bit more. Maybe I'll foam some up with my mouth frother and add a little on top. Nice and frothy. Am I like a barista now? So good. If they have that at your store, you need to try it. Or don't.
You should start from the beginning. And like most people go through the hobby and then they have to learn a bunch of stuff. And they have to learn about the nitrogen cycle. And you've just skipped everything, but I feel like what if I'm away or I'm gone or something happens and I'm not there, I don't know what's going on. You're gonna need to be able to go through the process of elimination. That's why I think that along with your room, we'll learn about cross-contamination, properly quarantining, how to test your water. You're going to need test kits. You, for the last 6 years, have come along for my journey of, you know, even though sometimes I'll keep some rudimentary tanks and very basic stuff, like I do things more advanced and freestyle than based off 20 plus years of experience. And then I dumb it down and simplify it so that other people can replicate it. But one of the things that I don't do is test my water. I don't talk about the nitrogen cycle enough. I do talk about quarantine. I do talk about certain things, but you're going to need your own medications. You're going to need your own books, your own... because right now you just look at a fish and you're like, what's wrong with that one? And sometimes I'll tell you, and then other times I'll be like, well, it probably just needs to be dosed with some salt or water change or something like that. But you need to learn a lot of things, so we'll figure it all out for you. But we'll start with figuring out, you're going to have to buy a bunch of substrate, decor. We have to go through the cycling process because in each one of these filters, they have those sponges. So one of the things I was thinking to fast forward the nitrogen cycle for you is since CJ sent you a bunch of extra foams, I have foam outside in my filter for the 2000 that is that thick, and I could just use this as a template and cut you out 15 blocks, and then you'll already have pre-seeded filter media. But it's such a small block that one of my fears is that you put in fresh water, there's nothing in there to feed that bacteria. And even if you add fish, you start feeding food, that bacteria in that filter could potentially die off within 24, 48 hours if we're starving it of any sort of nutrients that it requires, which is of course fish waste. Ammonia, we need to produce ammonia. So your first few weeks in the gallery, you will need to pay attention to ammonia spikes because they're going to happen, and if you don't recognize them or catch them in time, you could wipe your whole tank out. One thing that I will teach you to do is only under emergencies do we dose to get rid of ammonia in an emergency situation to neutralize it. And it only neutralizes it for about 24 to 48 hours, stuff like prime, stuff like and things like that. It doesn't eliminate ammonia. It neutralizes it for a certain amount of time. But it can help you. You're on a well, so you're not going to have to worry about chlorine, chloramines, or anything like that. But I do think that you should have your own test kit, and you need to test and learn things, and it's fun. But it can turn you into a little bit of a mad scientist when you know what your pH is, and then you read a book and you're like, oh, well, that fish is supposed to come from a pH of 6.2, which is acidic. And you'll read the pH here, which is 7.6. I know it's 7.6 because when I bought this house 12 years ago, it was 7.6. It's never changed. And it has a high buffering capacity, and the water's hard enough to stand on. It's decent water for most fish, and most plants, and depends, and it's really great for algae. However, once you start seeing that a fish is, it should have a lower pH, you're going to start thinking, you should lower your pH. You should use some pH up or pH down. And that's where I'm going to jump in and say, no, your fish are fine your fish will prefer consistency over you continuously chasing numbers, right? So if we lower the pH, then we do a water change with higher pH water, it's going to jump. Then you're going to start looking into doing water changes with reverse osmosis water, or RODI, which is reverse osmosis deionized. And we want to stay away from that. We want simplicity is key, and your fish are going to prefer consistency over ideal, and ideal is what they had in the wild. Most fish that you're going to be keeping are captive bred, and most of those fish are bred in alkaline water, believe it or not, with a pH over 7.